guys, welcome back. So first off, I didn't monetize this one for a reason. We're going to be talking about Freyja and sexuality. If you're too young or you don't like that, you can peace out now. You're not going to hurt our feelings. Please peace out if you're too young to hear that. It should be adults only on this channel, but you know how the internet goes. Okay, somebody asked me about Freyja and I wanted to talk about her. In fact, Loki insisted I do this video. I used to call her boss lady, and I wouldn't do that anymore because our relationship has changed over the years. I didn't do it disrespectfully or anything, but it was more like she was like an authority figure and I did what she said. But over the years, our relationship has changed and she's definitely more like a sister to me. And we were talking about, I watch Aesthetic Self. I love him. Him? Yeah, he identifies as him. And I love watching those videos, and the latest video he did was Frey was like, watch this, watch this, watch this. About why he gave up over $6,000 a month, you know, in what would have been easy money. And he gave it up because he started an OnlyFans, okay? And he does aesthetic sexuality, so sacred sexuality, so right down, you know, her alley and right down most pagan alleys, right? And it's beautiful what he does. And he talked about how he was doing this beautiful photography and everything. And at first it was wonderful. And he was very much enjoying the money because that was more money than he's ever seen in his life before. And, you know, it was like he was really enjoying it. Only the comments started to change. I mean, it is OnlyFans, okay? And, you know, and I got, yeah, back here. And he went from the people that could appreciate the sensuality and the sacredness and everything else to people like demanding more and more content. Like, I'm paying you, you must constantly perform for me. Ugh. And I got, yeah. And, you know, people demanding more and more extreme, like X-rated, just, you know, just really content that it was far from sexual sacredness at that point. It was just you know, OnlyFans. And, you know, he wasn't comfortable. And he did do some of it that he wasn't comfortable with. And he regretted it. And he was just like, you know, it was kind of like the thing of like the money was so good, you know, but he couldn't keep doing it because it wasn't living up to his, you know, his ethical standards. And what I like is that he made it clear that if someone else would have been comfortable with doing that, he wouldn't have felt that because that's how you should enjoy your sexuality. If he would have felt comfortable with it and still been able to see it as sacred, he wouldn't have had a problem. But he was like, no, it was just becoming like, you know, crude and trashy, and he wasn't comfortable with that. Some people, they'd be, you know, they'd be right at home. To them, that would be their sexual sacredness, but to him, it wasn't a good fit. And what I get from Freyja is, you know, she's like that. Like, we do not owe anyone. I don't care if it's a god or it's a mortal spouse or lover or boyfriend or whatever. We don't owe anyone any part of our body or any part of our sexuality that we're not comfortable sharing. We do not, full stop. I don't care if it's Loki. I don't care if it's whomever. I don't care if it's divinity. I don't care if you're shacking up with a ghost. I don't care who you're with. If you're not comfortable performing that act or showing that part of your body or doing whatever, you do not owe it to them. It is not healthy sexuality to do what women used to be told to do, to just lie there or to, you know, well, you're married now, it's your duty. It is not your duty, okay? That is disgusting. It is not the duty of any gender ever to do that if you are not up to it. We all go through seasons, whether it's stress or it's medication or it's the time of year or whatever it is where we just aren't interested. That's fine. It's also fine, and yes, you can work with Freyja if you're never interested in sexuality, if you're just like, no. For whatever reason, it's fine to, you know, still work with Freyja. And she definitely has us own how we feel, and she's good for getting over guilt. A lot of us were brought up Christian, we came over to paganism, and, you know, you don't have to go overboard with it. You know, you don't have to go from reading your Bible and being prim and proper to hanging off a pole and having people throw money at you, unless that's your joy, unless you're truly happy doing it. But it's also like you have to own what does make you happy. If you find out pole dancing makes you happy, go for it. But if you don't, that's not something you have to indulge in. It's not like you have to go for free for all. I've never really went to a pagan con, but there are usually places called like Pan's Grottos or something, which obviously you don't have to do that if you're not comfortable. You don't have to indulge in sexuality ever if you're not comfortable. But if you are going to, you have to earn it. Not earn it, own it. Be comfortable with it. Be comfortable with what brings you pleasure. Obviously, be safe. Be safe. Be a safe partner. Get tested. And just remember that it should make you feel better, whatever you're doing. It should make you feel better. We're not trying to kink shame anybody or anything. If that's what you're into, fine, but it should be making you feel valued. If somebody is pressuring you to do something that makes you feel worthless and that's just not your bag, then you should not be doing that. And she's very much about, realizing how to balance that is just one part of your life. I think people look at Freya sometimes and they see like the sexy fun times goddess, which certainly that's an aspect, but she's also a goddess of war and she's a goddess of a lot of other things. And I get back here to realize that that can just be one part of your life, and that if you want to keep that totally private, that's up to you. If you're happy to go on some kind of adult content site and share it with the world, that's fine too. But to do what's natural for you and to be at home with it. And if you have to work through the guilt of doing it, as long as it's consenting adults and you're all agreeing, that's fine. Work through the guilt with Freya. Work through the guilt. And the thing I'd finish up with is learn to love your body as it is. Nobody looks like a airbrushed model, okay? And some people might be, well, I would feel sexier, but ugh, I'm looking at my body, and no. Learn to love your body as it is. Learn to find the sensuality in your body. We usually do not cover adult content because most people are okay and most adults behave like adults, but there's always those one or two people I have to ban. And I swear, if you overshare, I am going to ban you. I'm not even joking about this. Yes, it's for adults, but there's a time and place for everything. Just because we're talking about Freyja and sexuality doesn't mean anybody needs to know the details of your intimate going ons. So, it's something we hope helped you. And since somebody asked about Freyja, and I really haven't talked about sexuality with her too much, I thought maybe it was time. I think it's something that people get ashamed of talking about, and we tend to take our love gods and goddesses and be like, well, when you fall in love. And I'm like, you mean like when I fall in love, like the emotion of falling in love with someone? Or do you mean sexual attraction? Because those are two different things. They can coexist and they can exist without each other just fine. So we hope you guys have liked that. If you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye.